Wings Aviaries, where beauty takes flight.
Hi guys, it's Savannah here at Wings Aviaries, and I'm doing a bit of a different video for you today, which I hope you will enjoy over the other types of content that I create. So I wanted to discuss with you today about breeding cages over colony breeding in a flight or aviary, and the pros and cons to both. So let's start with the breeding cages, and this is what I do, and I do in breeding cages only, and the reason for that is because it is safety reasons. We have one pair of budgies per breeding cage, and in the nest we have their babies. We don't have any toys in the breeding cages because toys can cause a distraction to the adult birds, and they may not feed their babies or they may reject them entirely. So we need to make sure that their focus is on raising their babies and not playing with toys. In the colony breeding aspect, whilst you do have the community of birds around each other and they're breeding and playing and having a lot more space than they would say in a breeding cage, there is the risk that there is going to be attacks. Now in flight scenarios, budgies are really territorial and aggressive when it comes to defending their nest. And unfortunately, if there are birds that are encroaching on an already taken nest, that can end up with injury or even death. And we don't want that at Wings Aviaries, and it shouldn't be done unless you have 100% security that the nest is not going to be encroached on by another pair. And unfortunately, you don't get that security with colony breeding. So I keep my flight space as a fun space where budgies can eat and play and bond and have all the wonderful behaviours that budgies have without the pressures of defending a nest, their mate or any babies that they may have. So when the budgies are ready for breeding and their cere colours have changed, for males that have a specific mutation that are royal blue, they'll go really deep, intense blue, and some males will have a more pinky purple cere depending on their mutation, and they will intensify in colour too. Now for the females, their cere colour will go from a beige to a nutty brown colour to show that she is in condition and she wants to have babies. Now we do have to rotate our pairs through our breeding cages, and I manage 12 breeding cages. And the reason I rotate them is because budgies, they do want to breed. It is natural instinct and you can't stop it unless they are in a cage environment where they are single sex only, and so there would be no mating or procreation of young ones. So if you still have a pet budgie or two pet budgies, as male and female, there is still the risk that that female is going to want to breed. So we have to do hormone prevention, such as minimising access to daylight hours, also look at the diet and things like that. So you're trying to discourage the breeding as much as possible if you don't want babies. So here, when I know that my budgies are ready to breed, I make sure that they have a chance to go into the nest boxes. I make sure their supplements and their diet is correct, and we give them a chance to have babies of their own. In certain pairs, especially if it's their first time, they may not be very lucky with their babies. They may not have any fertile eggs at all, which means they would be sitting on eggs for a very long time to have no outcome. So we make sure that every pair, regardless of their situation, will have fertilized eggs to raise as babies as their own, and that may come in the form of fostering from other pairs. So if we have a pair that have laid too many eggs, we can share those eggs out to the pairs that weren't as successful, meaning that they will get babies, although they won't know that they're not biologically theirs. So here we are, the breeding cages. And just to give you a little show of what we've got going on, this is Ozzy and Jasmine, and these are some little ones just here. And that little one just there has just hatched. I haven't even marked it on my card, which is there. So there is a brand new little baby. And as you can see, Mum is really happy about me looking in. She's got no issues with me looking at her babies, and that is due to the bond that I have with my birds, the frequency that I spend with my birds, and also breeding for personality. That way my hens don't show any aggression towards me when I'm going in the nest box, and therefore that aggression is not learned from the babies, and so I can produce the most wonderful semi-tame handled babies that you can find, that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else. So they really are amazing little birds. I always recommend breeding for personality and health as top priority, as we always want to make sure that our little babies, whether they be for pets or for breeding birds, continue the cycle of breeding good-natured budgies. So here we just to show you again, this is who we've got going on. Oh, sorry, did I speak to you? Hi. So I'll show you into my flight space now, and this is where all of my budgies live. They do not live in those breeding cages. They are only there for a short period whilst they are breeding. They do not live in there. So I'll show you where they do live. Hello, Walnut. Hi. So that's where the budgies live, and they play and they bond and they have lots of fun with all their toys, and they also eat their veggies as well. They also have a bath put in there in the hot weather, and they can have communal baths, which they absolutely love. So that is the flight area, and that is where the budgies live. And again, the budgies do not live in these breeding cages. These are for breeding purposes only, and once they're finished with their babies, they will go into the flight space where they can spread their wings. So if you've got any questions about the budgies or their breeding, or the pros and cons more, I can go into more depth about those. Please do drop me a message, and thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like and share, because we want to bring more traffic to the page. And also a quick mention, something really, really exciting going on behind the scenes of Golden Wings Aviaries is that I am going to be setting up a YouTube properly. Now I do have a YouTube channel, but the last upload was about 6 years ago when we first had the aviaries built here. And obviously we now have the bird room, so everything has changed dramatically. So I'm going to be restarting that YouTube. There's going to be a lot of content on there. So please do like and subscribe. So thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. And if you've got any more comments, please do post them below. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.